everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, we're starting by applying some tapes on the corners of the eyes, and then we're going to go in with an eyeshadow primer. This is Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC Cosmetics. This will help our eyeshadows last throughout the day and also cover up any discolorations on the lid. Then I'm going to set that with a powder. I'm using the Laura Mercier. This will just help our eyeshadows blend seamlessly on top. To start off the eyeshadow, I'm starting out by taking Thunderhead from the Sigma Smokescreen palette, and I'm just going to apply that in the crease area, just making sure that I blend out any harsh lines. I'm using a big fluffy brush to diffuse the color because I don't want anything harsh in the crease. Now picking up an eyeshadow from Morphe, this one's called Blackberry, and I'm blending this into the outer third of the eye. I'm using a more defined blending brush, so one that's not as big because I want to control this color more. So I'm just making sure that there's no harsh lines. Then I'm going to pick up this eye dust from Makeup Store in the shade Fame. This is a loose shimmer pigment, and I'm just going to press this into the first half of the eye and then switch up brushes to the one that we just used to blend out any harsh lines. This is one of my most popular shimmers for weddings. It's so beautiful and it just suits so many different skin colors. Moving on to liner, I'm using Black Track by MAC Cosmetics, and I'm just creating a wing to suit her eye shape. Of course, I do wings different on everyone because everyone has different eye shapes, and if you didn't want to do a wing with this look, it would still look so beautiful. So once you're done with the liner, just gently pull off the sticky tape and you have a nice clean, crisp, sharp wing that you don't really need to clean up because the tape cleaned it up for you. That's what I love so much about the tape. Anyway, moving on to the skin, I'm just going to clean it first with the Garnier Micellar Water and then go in with my MAC Cosmetics Strobe Cream on my stipple brush. This is like one of my favorite primers ever. It's just so hydrating and I love it. I just ran out actually, so I need to go and buy a new one. For foundation, we went with a full coverage foundation, which is what most of my clients get. The one I used is the Studio Fix by MAC. This one is in the shade, I think NC30 or maybe NC25. I'm unsure off the top of my head, but I will leave it down below in the description box for you guys. I just like to apply that with a brush first, just all over the face, and then go in with my damp beauty blender and blend everything out, and making sure that I blend that down the neck and onto the ears, and you know the drill. Just blend, 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 or should I say dab? Dab, dab, dab. Okay, so moving on to concealer, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 20 Sand. I start out by applying it down the center of her face and then underneath her eyes, kind of in an upside down triangle. Now, the way I place concealer is different on everyone because, once again, everyone has a different face shape. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And then I actually went in with some Fix Plus and sprayed that concealer before I go in with my damp beauty blender again and blend it out. I also like to make sure that my concealer and my foundation is kind of blended into one, if you know what I mean. I don't like a really harsh line between the concealer and foundation, so what I usually like to do is turn my beauty blender around to the flat side where I applied the foundation and just blend out any harsh lines. Now to set that concealer, I'm picking up Light Cocoa from the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette, and I'm just pressing that into the concealer, making sure that I don't move it or disrupt it because we want to press it in and set it. So we don't want to move it around, so don't swipe or anything like that. To set the rest of the face, I use the Australis Fresh and Flawless Pressed Powder in Darkest Brown. This is just going to add a little bit more coverage as well, but of course if you didn't want that much coverage, you could just use a translucent powder. To fill in her eyebrows, I used my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Book. I took the Duo Soft Brown and just pretty much outlined where I wanted her brows to be and then filled in any sparse areas. And then once I've done that, I go in and define the eyebrows using the same concealer, so the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, just on a small concealer brush. To give the face some color and to add some dimension to the face, I used the Cocoa Contour Palette again, and I just picked up that medium cocoa shade and just ran that down her cheekbones, across her forehead, and also down her jawline. To contour, I'm using the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit Cosmetics, and I'm just running that down her cheekbones, her forehead, her jawline, underneath her lip to make it look bigger, and also switching up brushes to a smaller brush and defining the nose. To put some colour back into the cheeks, I'm using Spellbound Blush by Makeup Geek. For highlight, I'm using Becca Cosmetics Pearl, and I'm just placing that on the tops of her cheekbones, above the eyebrows, down the center of her nose, and also on the Cupid's bow. Using the same eyeshadow that we used in the outer third of the eye, which was Blackberry by Morphe, I'm just taking a pencil brush and running that from the outer corner of her lower lash line to the inner corner. Then we're just taking that same pigment that we used on the lid and just placing that into the tear duct area. And then using that same gel liner by MAC Cosmetics that we used to create the wing, I'm just going to place that in the lower waterline. For lashes, I'm using a pair by Model Rock from the Feline Vibe Pack, and these ones are double layered. They're so beautiful and I've been using them so much on clients. They just make the makeup look 10 times better. Moving on to the lips, I first start out by lining them using a lip pencil by MAC, but I'm unsure of the name of it, so I will leave it down below. And then moving on to lipstick, this is another one by MAC, and once again I'm unsure of the shade off the top of my head, so I will leave that down below in the description box as well. To coat the lower lashes, I used the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara on a disposable spoolie wand. Then to finish the look, I just spritzed the face using the Fix Plus by MAC Cosmetics. So this is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye!